I'm here basically to say enough is enough, really. I think that the way that this government is behaving over the last 13 years really is absolutely atrocious. And the fact that there has been very little said about it. Basically, when I was go unchecked, I mean, that's kind of just the way that our system works. They have an 8-seat majority. They can pass whatever they want, you know. The opposition can vote against all this legislation that's coming, the anti-strike legislation, the public order bill. That legislation, if that was going on anywhere else in the world, and the thing is, we always say about, you know, it's Russian, it's Chinese. It's like, no, it's not. It's happening here in this country. We need to accept it for what it is. You know, George Orwell wrote a book about this sort of stuff a few years back. A few years back, definitely. A few years. No, I think if we look at the Antistrike Bill, forcing people to work against their will under the legislation, basically, if you are scheduled to work on a strike day and you refuse to work, you can be sacked. Unions can be sued. We'll basically be made to go bankrupt because that's what this government wants to do. It wants to break apart the unions. It started in the 80s under Thatcher and it's going to continue under Sunak. The public order bill, even us congregating here, if this protest was to reach, I can't remember if it's deemed too noisy, then we can have, it can be shut down. I don't know if any of you have ever been on a protest, any of you watching been on a protest. They do tend to be quite loud because you are trying to draw attention to your cause, and that does tend to be making a little bit of noise. You're banned from looking at protest material online. You can also, the police can also request your whereabouts at any time, wear an electronic tag, place monitoring equipment in your home. It's completely barbaric. And it's just, sorry.
I was going to say, what are your like sort of biggest political priorities? What issues? You've touched on a few there, but like overall.
I think workers' rights is definitely the biggest one. I think definitely trying to get this legislation overturned, which I don't think it will be overturned. Definitely not whilst the Tories are in power. I think when Labour are charged, they've said that they would repeal any legislation like this. I think the first year of any Labour government is going to be overturning a lot of the legislation that the government the Tories have brought in. My biggest concerns, I think, is the health service. I think getting young people in work and actually fulfilling work, getting young people on the property ladder. A lot of the, the NIMBYs, I believe they are, and the idea of we build loads of houses. You know, why we're building here a couple of houses. You know what? I think I'd done work with trade unions in the past, and I wasn't sure how the strikes were going to be received from sort of June 2022. But what I would say is the way that Mick Lynch, Eddie Dempsey, Dave Ward, those guys, Joe Grady as well, those guys have come across, is that they're hard to pin down. Because the media, I remember with Kay Burley, she asked Mick Lynch, well, if you see people going to work, what are you going to do? You're going to stop them? It's like, well, we'll picket them. That's why a picket line is established outside of a place of work. And they can't get to him because he's, like Mick Lynch in particular, straight talking, says it how it is, and people like that. People want people to be honest and just say, look, this is why we're doing this. And particularly with the nurses strikes at the moment, I think there's a lot of support for them when you look at current polling. And I remember there were a lot of stuff being said about with the strikes costing, they predicted, it's in the billions that it was costing. And that is there is the true value of the workers striking. So pay them what they're worth. It seems very simple, but evidently it's not.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that a lot.